this is Josh. First time I probably picked up a dumbbell, I was probably 13 or 14, but I guess the most logical answer would be when I started lifting seriously, which was probably back in 2003, 2004. So I was probably about 20, 21 years old. I think one of the biggest mistakes I made as a newbie was, of course, diet. I think that people underestimate the concept of dieting and the importance of it. And I think a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on supplements and just the weightlifting part of it when they first start bodybuilding. I didn't really have an idea what to eat. I just knew I needed to eat because I was very skinny. I probably lifted weights too long, thinking the more I did, the bigger my muscles would get. So just a few mistakes would probably definitely be just the diet aspect of it more than anything, and then overtraining. Being one of the most inspirational males on Body Space is cool because people are basically telling you that your stories inspired them to try to improve themselves physically and maybe even emotionally or spiritually in their life. So I remember when I first got on Body Space, it was all about who had the most viewed profiles, and a lot of people sunk pretty low to get people to view their page. So when bodybuilding.com converted over to the inspirational concept, it really made me feel proud to know that my story helped a lot of people out in getting in better shape and maybe just cleaning their lives up in general. I guess one of the biggest things is I just enjoy working out and lifting weights. I think anything in life you enjoy doing, it's easy to keep doing. I think that you have to be careful that it doesn't become an obsession, which I also know what that's about when it comes to fitness and bodybuilding. So staying motivated though, like I said, if you enjoy fishing, if you enjoy working, if you enjoy doing anything in life, it's easy to keep doing it. You just have to make sure you keep your priorities straight in life and what's really important. I guess, what am I mostly proud of inside or outside of the gym? I like to believe in life, especially being a Christ follower and a God-fearing man, that all of our setbacks and accomplishments in life can be a part of a bigger plan that the Lord has for us. So for me, I like to, I guess, keep that answer general, and I just like to say perseverance. I'd like to think for every setback or every time I've been knocked down or knocked back, I've been able to not only get up but keep moving forward. And I think a lot of people struggle with that in life. Sometimes they just focus on getting through their day. They don't really focus on trying to become a better person or anything like that. And I was in that place for a long time in my life. I was just content with being comfortable and not failing. I wasn't really focused on succeeding at anything. So as far as being proud of, I would definitely say that, just perseverance. I would definitely say my faith has played a big role. When I started fitness modeling, right around that time was when I found the Lord, and God is always first in my life, so it's definitely helped me keep my priorities straight. I've learned some hard lessons in the concept of keeping my priorities straight, but having a wonderful wife, good family, good friends, they help keep me on track too. So all those things I think play a role in my faith because I believe they're gifts from God. So like I said, I've taken the fitness and the bodybuilding stuff to an extreme before. So my faith has allowed me to kind of set back and reevaluate my life and put the proper things in perspective. So it definitely has played a huge role in how my body is and how I take care of it. I think the rep ranges I prefer, and without getting too technical, I always like the 8 to 12 rep range. Reason being is, I have a longer build, more of an aesthetic build, thinner muscle fibers. Usually when you have longer limbs or anything like that, you don't need the amount of weight to get the workout that's required to build new muscle. So I would definitely say 8 to 12 reps, 4 sets. I really like working the muscle, exhausting it, filling it with blood and stuff like that. So it just depends on your body type, but for me, that's what I prefer. think anyone that's been following me for a while knows that I stay away from the word routine. And maybe in a sense that is my routine, not doing the same thing over and over again. I'm a big believer in making sure that you mix your exercises up and stuff. But I mean, just to give you guys a general insight of what I do, I usually don't do the same thing on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday as I did the previous week. I'm a big believer in supersetting, doing 2 different exercises in between sets. Like I said, 8 to 12 reps, 4 to 5 sets of an exercise, if time allows me to do so. Certain exercises, my favorites for back, I would definitely say pull-up or deadlifts. My favorite exercise in general is a deadlift. It's a complete body workout. Biceps would be straight bar curls. Shoulders, just the plain and simple shoulder presses with dumbbells. Chest, I love dumbbell presses, flies, abs, hanging leg raises, decline sit-ups. It's just a multitude of things. Triceps, I love doing dips, if it either be weighted or just body weight stuff. I really don't have a routine. It's very hard for me to actually sit there and say what I do day in and day out. Every bodybuilder that I've ever read about or whatever, the more experience they've gotten in this field, they've said the same thing. The biggest and most important thing you do at the end of the day is listen to your body. It's good to have a routine to follow to get you going on something, but I like running, I like jogging. Running's a full body movement, full body workout. I know a lot of people don't like it. I know a lot of machines have been made to kind of detour people from running, but my wife loves it. She enjoys it. I think anyone that gives jogging or running a chance will see their body transform pretty quick, especially if you incorporate it with weightlifting. So, in a general sense, that's my routine, if you will. Keep things different, keep switching things up. And another important thing about my routine, of course, is rest. Like I said, one of the biggest mistakes I made as a newbie in bodybuilding was overtraining. People don't realize your body grows and does most of its work when you're not lifting weights. It's all about when you're supplying it with the proper nutrients and stuff that it needs. You gotta rest. I like to just listen to my body. Some weeks I'll work out 4 days a week. Some I'll work out 5 or 6. Some I'll work out 3. So you gotta make sure you get the proper rest. Give your body that time to recover. And even if you've lifted 8 to 12 straight weeks without a break, sometimes it's good to take a whole week off and just let your body recover and recuperate. So rest is very important. My diet when I'm trying to get in peak condition, I guess just generally lower carbs, high protein, low fats, moderate level cardio, weightlifting. Instead of, if I'm at a gym for an hour and a half or 2 hours, I try to split up the cardio and the weightlifting pretty evenly. Keeping my carbs low allows my body to, use my body fat for energy instead of going for carbs. Keeping my protein up allows my muscles to not, catabolize and eat themselves. So that's pretty much what my diet's like. I eat a lot of meat, a lot of greens, bananas, just clean food, but just stuff with low carbs and a high protein content. I guess how I deal with those cravings is I usually eat the stuff. I think that's why people get kind of ticked off at me is, I know I've been blessed in the aspect where I can eat a lot of different foods and not see too many results from it, but there are times where I do buckle down and try to stay away from them. And those times, I focus on drinking more water just to keep something in my stomach, eating a more, more protein, even if it be a protein drink, it tricks my brain into thinking that it's full. Something like almonds or whatever, maybe a handful of those will help curb your appetite a little bit. I drink coffee, that's an appetite suppressant, so I guess the times where I do try to focus on staying away from it, that would be it, but my wife would just, she would say that I still eat those things, which I do, and I guess when I do break and I eat them, it's all about portion control from that point on, so I guess that's the best way I can deal with and handle those cravings. I guess the biggest obstacles and setbacks would be, just the general things that life throws at you, loss of loved ones, family, friends, being you know, living in a family where, you know, divorce is present and stuff like that, and um, the normal teenage drama, drugs, alcohol, things like that. I mean, everyone has a sad story. Everyone has, you know, a story. And I would never undermine anyone else's story, but my thing is the past is the past, and if you sit there and dwell too much on what you've been through, you'll never move forward in life. And that was something that I've, you know, recently learned in the last 5 years. So, once again, it's hard to get specific on things like that because most people have gone through a lot of the same things. It's all about perseverance and how you deal in those moments and how you cope with those moments. And are you going to just stand up and focus on just staying still in life, or are you going to stand up and try to move forward? So, you know, biggest obstacles would just be life in general, what it throws at you, and being able to take the hits in life and keep moving forward. So, what do I think about to push out that last rep? A lot of the times, I mean, I don't have a set rep range. I just go till my muscles are exhausted, but I do challenge myself a lot in the gym. I think about different things. I think about God. I think about family and friends. I talk to myself. I pray when I lift sometimes. So, I mean, it all depends, I guess, how motivated I am during that workout. If it's something that I'm really, you know, focused on and zoned in on trying to get that last rep out. So I think more than anything for me, when I'm doing like a 1 max rep, would be more of a focus for me. What's my mindset on that? But if I'm just going through a general set of 8 to 12 reps, you know, if I throw out a little challenge like, oh, try to get to 13 or 15 in the middle of the set, I think about numerous things. I personally just challenge myself. Like I said, I'll pray, think about God or stuff like that. I guess favorite athletes, bodybuilders, or fitness models. Fitness models, I don't really have a favorite one. I don't know too many of them. Being in the fitness industry, there's people that I met that I respect. Um, You know, Greg Plitt, he's a guy that's definitely made a name for himself in the fitness industry. The cool thing about Greg is that he's just willing to work. His head's not too big to do any job. I know a lot of models out there, when they get to a certain stature, maybe they think certain jobs are below them. He does anything. He just likes to work. Athlete-wise, anyone that knows me, it's all about Michael Jordan. Been obsessed with him since I was a kid. Just his desire to win, his will to win and never give up, attitude. Michael Jordan completely in the athlete side of it. And bodybuilders, there's a couple of them. I like Dexter Jackson. I like his build. I like his mentality, the way that he approaches bodybuilding. He's actually the one that I got the carb cycling diet from. Phil Heath, old school wise, Frank Zane. I think Frank Zane is an awesome bodybuilder. He was never a mass monster by any means, so for the things he was able to accomplish in bodybuilding in the time that he did it, to me is pretty amazing. So I just liked his approach to bodybuilding. So I guess that would answer those questions as far as, you know, my favorite athletes, bodybuilders, or fitness models. Future goals, I guess, would entail, first and foremost, just continuing to be the best husband I can be, a good dad, a good father figure to my kids. I wouldn't mind competing in a show pretty soon. It depends. I always thought it'd be cool to be, you know, compete in a bodybuilding show. Just continue to support my family and take whatever God puts in my way and make the best out of it. So I always put God first and my family and friends, and then, you know, whatever comes after that, then I'll take it from there. What supplements do I take? Well, anyone that's followed me knows that I work closely with Cellucor. I've tried all their stuff. I like it. I also am a big fan of Optimum Nutrition. I love their whey protein, their Pro Complex blend and stuff like that. I don't mess around too much with a lot of different supplements. Anyone that knows me too knows I don't take too much. Right now I'm taking Bull Knox Ando Rush as a pre-workout. So I mean, it's not a Cellucor name, but it's something different that I wanted to try and give a shot at taking. So taking Optimum Nutrition's 100% whey. That's pretty much it. I mean, usually Cellucor based product, but I am willing and open to try different things. So. Top 3 tips I would give someone wanting to get cut and jacked. First and foremost would be a diet, a clean diet. If you're either a big guy trying to get muscular, maybe have a little bit too much body fat on you, don't follow the myth about losing the fat first before you start lifting weights. Start lifting weights, doing some cardio, eat clean. If you're a skinny guy trying to put on some weight, I would suggest eating what you can, making sure you keep it as clean as possible, eating as much as you can, and keeping your weightlifting sessions down to a minimum. So diet first, training, and rest. Those would be the top 3 tips I would give someone. So I would definitely just find some kind of basic training routine. If it either be on bodybuilding.com, go to a grocery store, get a magazine, Muscle and Fitness or something like that. Just find something to give you some kind of structure when you're in the gym. Build up your knowledge on different exercises you can do, because the more exercises you know, the more you're going to be able to build your body up, and maybe find an exercise that's like magic for you for building up a certain muscle group. So those would be the top 3 tips I would give anyone wanting to get cut and jacked.